Hey splashers, welcome back to the channel Splash of Prudencia, and my name is Prudence. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. In today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to cut this dress. So if this is what you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and let's dive in. So to begin, I have this crepe fabric, this Ankara fabric, and my lining. We'll be starting with the half length, and I'll be making use of this crepe and I'll be lining it. So first of all, we want to fold this in four. We'll be cutting the back and the front at the same time. So fold them and leave little allowance for the zipper allowance. This fabric is not straight, so I'll go ahead to straighten it up and then mark out my zipper allowance. You can decide to use 1, 2, any amount you want to use. Just mark it out and align your fabric. So rule out a straight line to begin all your measurements. I'll be dividing my shoulder by 2 and adding half an inch because we are not using pattern. I'm going in for my neck using the width of 3 inches and coming down by 1 inch from the shoulder. Connect to that neckline depth width, So the next thing we're going to do is to get our neckline. I came down by 3 and align it for the front neckline, and for the back neckline I just want a neck that is high up, so just come down by about 1 inch and connect. So we are going to be cutting the back first before we cut the front neckline. So for my armhole depth, I divided my actual bust measurement by 6, adding 1.5. So this line I'm rolling out here is going to be the chest line, and I'm going to mark whatever I have at the shoulder, that is plus the ½ inch allowance, and align in a straight line. So the next thing we're going to do is to get our bust measurement. You are going to impute your bust measurement on that chest line there. Just divide your actual bust measurement by 4 and go ahead to add any number of allowance you want. So I'll be dividing my armhole by 2 and going in by 0.75. You can go in by ½ an inch, and we are going to be connecting. The back is not going to have the depth, but the front is going to have this depth. So we are going to be cutting it out. You see the way we do it. So I'm just coming down. So you can come down by about 7 to 8 inches to achieve your waistline if you didn't measure where the waistline is going to be. So your waistline measurement, your waist measurement divided by 4 plus your allowance is what you input at the waist. And for the hip, I actually measured from the shoulder to the hip. So you can, if you didn't measure it, you can use 7 to 8 inches also. Impute your hip measurement and add your allowances and just curve from the waist to meet with the hip. So the next thing I want to do is add our half length measurement. Okay, so what I'm doing here is to label each part. Okay, so this half length, we are just going to straighten it up. Then to avoid zipper bulge at the waistline, the other part I measured as the waist, you go in by ½ an inch and blend it to meet with the zipper allowance, and we'll cut this out. So we are going to be opening this up before we actually give it that slant you saw. Take note of where I'm cutting. You see, for the armhole I didn't cut in the in-depth because it's only for the front, and I'm cutting out the zipper allowance part and also the back neckline first. So I'm going to separate the back from the front and then cut the actual neckline for the front and the actual armhole for the front. You can actually make the front and back armhole the same. I actually equalized mine later. So for this front, we are going to open it up to give it that slant. I went up by about some 3 to 4 inches. It depends on how curvy you want it to be, and just slant from there to meet with this other part. I left a gap of 2 inches so that by the time I sew, it will just align properly. You can go ahead, just explore with this, just slant it as much as you want. Okay, so this is what I want to slant. For the back, I won't be slanting it first. I'm going to fix the zip first before placing it together. So this remaining fabric here, I'm going to fold it in 4 and cut out my sleeve. So what you want to do is just mark out your length, add 1 inch for the down, folding in the lining and the up, attaching it to the main bodies. and then your shoulder to your elbow point, you are going to mark that out. You're actually going to measure this on your clients, but if you didn't, you can divide your length by 2. So I took my bicep measurements, my elbow measurements, and my wrist measurements, and that's what I'm just marking out. I came down by 4 inches from the top there, and fixing my bicep measurement, I just curved it randomly. So you have to know how to give it a nice curve. If not, you want to check out my video on how to cut a basic sleeve, and I connected each of the lines, and here I am adding the number of allowance I want. So it's just a simple method. So for this to fit properly, I'm going to come up by 1 inch at the side here and just blend it in with the length. Okay, this is to give it a nice fitting. After doing that, we are going to go ahead and cut this out, and whatever we are doing, we are also going to do it for the lining. This is the back part. I went ahead to cut out lining for it, and I've turned it. I'm just going to notch the necessary parts and turn it over. This is the sleeve, and I've gone ahead to sew the edges round using my lining, just leaving the armhole area. So we are also going to turn this over and give it a good press. So I literally cut the same size of lining for every part of this and turned it out, leaving the armhole and the down part. So this is what I have after ironing it out. So we're just going to fold this in two and keep this aside. We want to work on the front and the back also. For the back, we are just going to place this together and fix in our zip. So I just left a little space there, and this is what I have after fixing the zip. If you don't know how to fix a zip, you should look up some videos. So I want to place the front together with the back and pin it down, and then give it the same shape. Take note, you want to place them right sides facing each other so that the curve can align at the same part. And this is what we have. Since we cut this out, we'll have to stitch here so as to secure the zip. The next thing we're going to do is to join this shoulder, and we're doing the inseam method. Just place it this way and swipe this to the back and sew using 1/2 inch. So we're going to do that for the two shoulders, and this is what we'll have for the inside and the outside. You can see both the inside and the outside are neatly finished. So we'll place them together and mark your bust, waist, and hip measurements divided by 4 on both sides. Remember, I'm using my zip as a guide to get the middle of this. So you're marking it, and this is what we'll have after sewing it together. So the next thing we're going to do is to fold our zip in 2, and we are going to mark out our measurements. Just measure what you have at the armhole, check where it corresponds to at the sleeve, and mark it out, and other measurements too. We are going to sew this and turn it over. I ironed mine out. This is what we'll have. So for you to fix this sleeve, we just want to notch the waistline. Okay, take note, if it's for you, make sure your client fits this dress before notching it. For this one, I'm so sure it will fit. That's why I went ahead to notch it, because after notching, you cannot increase the waist. Okay, so you want to be careful about that. So for you to fix the sleeve is going to be facing the right side. We place it inside and make sure the two joinings align, and sew it all round for the two sides. So this is what we'll have after fixing the sleeve. You can see how flat it is laying. Don't mind that it is wet. I use the steam iron, so I'm just trimming off the excess allowance here. So the next thing we want to do is to work on our Ankara part. You are going to subtract the half length, that is this plain material we used. Add your sewing allowance to it and roll it out. That's how you cut out the length. So after cutting out the length, you are going to be trimming at the top for this Ankara. And remember the pieces we left before, the pieces we cut out from the half length. That is what we are going to be using for this. And we want to have this on a fold. You can see it's on a fold. So bring these pieces now and just place it this way. So we are going to be cutting the excess we have at this top, so as for it to align and be straight at the down. Okay, so some people use slash and spreading method, but this method works really fine and it is easier and faster. So I'm just going to gather this all around. We are going to notch this Okay, we'll notch this first to know every point this is going to be meeting. So it's very simple to attach. The part that is curved is going to be facing the upper part there, and we're just going to fix it this way. So I have gone ahead on my sewing machine. We are just going to keep ruffling it. We're going to ruffle, do your gathers. If you know how to do your gathers on your machine before attaching it, that's fine. If you know how to do it directly, that's also fine. So you just do whichever method works for you, and that's basically all you need to know about cutting and sewing this dress. So if you watched this video up to this point and you found it helpful, do well to subscribe to my channel so you see more of my videos. Also drop a comment so you let me know what you think about this video. Until next time, keep splashing, guys.